Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Telling It Like It Is. My name is Jade Alberts, the founder of Pure Guidance. We help guide and allow entrepreneurs to grow, scale, and exit their businesses. I would like to give Startup TNT a shout out for sponsoring this. They're an investment summit that connects new and experienced angels. To date, they've raised over $1.4 million. For more information, go to startuptnt.com. Tomorrow night is the announcement of the top 5 for the Clean Tech Summit that we're running right now. And speaking of that, this is where I met these 3 fabulous ladies, and we were able to connect. And a handful of months later, I have Kristyn, Leanna, and Kristyn on the show, the founders of 7 Summit Snacks. Thank you for joining me, and how are you today?
I'm great, thanks.
Good. Thanks so much for having us. We're excited.
Yes, I was expecting to have 3 little boxes, but you guys were nice enough to come in and be in one screen. So that's awesome. I've never had that. It's a first for me.
We're cohorted.
Yeah, we're sisters.
Around a lot.
Exactly. Everybody's cohorting right now, all right? Even at Founders Coffee, people are coming by and stopping by, and it's like they're just kind of, I don't care anymore. You sit down wherever.
That's how it is.
There's a little bit of that too, but you know what? When the snow melts, oh man.
Well, exactly. Everybody needs to get out. That's probably half of our conversation before we went live was talking about how pumped we are to get back to our normal life. Well, I'll do a brief little introduction here, and then we'll get after it. So 7 Summit Snacks is a woman-built, Alberta-made Summit Snack chocolate company for fuel-based energy. Their products are crafted with a purposeful nutrition targets to keep you going. From indulgent to sports performance, we have chocolate snacks to fit your needs at any different time of the day. So I said that we met through the TNT Summit, and I've really had a food-based kind of theme this last little bit with Laura Gustafson from You Live It talking about her story, to Shane from Tisane last week, and next week is Andrew, which is a culinary co-working spot here in Calgary. So it's been really, really neat to watch how some of you guys have grown, and a lot of the stories are similar. But I want to talk about you guys. So why don't you share your story, how 7 Summit Snacks started, how you guys connected, and share that with us.
Well,
Yeah,
I can start. Yeah. So I think the idea, started like a few years ago. My sister's a chocolate scientist, and she worked in the UK, and she'd come back and we'd talk, and I was telling her I was really tired because I love chocolate, and I'm an athlete, I'm a personal trainer.
She's a ball and athlete. She doesn't say that, and I'm allowed to. Like, she pick a sport, and Leanna's like probably better than you are at it. My claim to fame is I beat her once in a 400 meter like forever ago. But she's a well-known triathlete and former national team pole vaulter, squash pro, tennis pro.
Anyhow,
sorry.
I do love health and wellness. It's like every person in this world, we go to the grocery store, and most people like that indulgent treat, and I love dark chocolate. Always like a nice clean ingredients in my chocolate, and I'm looking and I'm reading all the labels, I'm picking them up, and I'm like, there's just nothing that speaks to me. And then even I go into a sports store and I'm looking and I see these goos and I see something that says sport on it, but not even a picture of someone active. So I was telling Kristyn this, and she's like, oh yeah. And she's like making notes. She's like, I think this is a great idea. She's like, so she starts asking me all the sciencey questions. Throughout her university degree, I also helped, she used me a lot to.
Leanna's always been my muse. So in my entire 12 years of product development, and then in university, I needed a guinea pig. It was Leanna. Any of the products that I've developed that are on shelves today, Leanna's been the feedback, source of feedback for that. So over time, this was just a natural process of me asking her, so does it need to be solid or should it be melted? Does it need to have salt in it? Then we just did this back and forth. And actually we were away and at a restaurant when we were talking about this, and I had this little sachet of mayonnaise, and effectively, and I carried this around with me for a year because I'm like, I'm going to come back to this. And I had this sachet of mayonnaise with me because this was how the idea about the portability and it being soft and also solid at the same time. So I just kept solid it with me. Yeah. Well, not mayo, but just the idea of the portability of chocolate. So, so it's funny because it was like after all this time, I just like had it in my mind and just kept taking it with me because Leanna was like, can we do this and can we do that?
Yeah, so the idea was that I was saying that everyone gets sick of goos, and I always feel bad for the cyclists in the world because cyclists love, I feel like, something in their pack, something hard to eat. But then I said it'd be nice if you could make it a goo as well. So we were able to create a product that was fit for purpose, and you could kind of stash anywhere. This is one of 7 formats. Yeah, so then we created it, and Kristyn was able to use her science brain to make it. I like it. Nice. Perfect. And and so these actually can melt and or eat as a solid. So if you're running, you can kind of treat it as a goo. And then if you're cycling or hiking and you want the solid, you can do that too. So I really was excited and jazzed about this when we came up with this. And I think the other thing was that when Kristyn and I'm like, Kristyn, we need to sit down and talk. I came up with 7 different formats, and Kristyn came up with 7 different flavors derived from all the 7 summits. So we actually ended up coming up with like
49 products.
49 products in the span of one night, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
So yeah, watch this space. It's our 5 to 7 year pipeline in a normal or a food product setting.
Yeah. I love that idea. But I also like to think I brought some like business, like that's not really realistic to launch 49 products here. You guys know that. But yeah, I came in when you were asking me about the like, is this a good business idea?
Yeah.
And like the market, like the energy gel market or energy products and things that are protein based, it's like that's a really, really busy market. So my first thought was like, well, how's this different? How's it unique? Can we launch without just getting like obliterated by, you know, the tens of thousands of other products that are out there? Even with, you know, it's like getting our friends and family on board, it's like it has to speak to people outside of our circle. So yeah, the differentiator is that like there might be a handful of other chocolates like this, but it's more in the formulation of the product and in the answering the problem. So it's like, are we solving somebody's problem? Like that was my like key thing. And it's like, yeah, we can launch a chocolate bar, but we need to sell it. So I think the problem was like what you described, but it's like, it's a common thing. The more people that we asked questions to, they're, you know, trail runners and ultra runners, by the time they've eaten like their 14th goo, they're really, really sick of that. Even if they start out loving it, it's like they just want a little bit of variety. So there's like that piece there. And then from like a nutrition standpoint that Kristyn spoke to, it's like the combining carbohydrates with fats. It like, actually you talked about that.
So that's it. We, again, if we're trying to target the people who are buying these energy goos at the moment, we need to be providing them with like a reason to buy. At the moment, there's a very well established gel market, and there's a very small market of trail butters that are coming on the market. So those are like the nut butters with a little teeny tiny bit of salt, still really lacking in carbohydrates, but they're pushing more on the use the fats for your slow burn, very long endurance activities. So what we designed, or what I designed in the product, is to have a comparable amount of carbohydrate using honey and the sugar that's in the chocolate. So we are selling sugar and honey. But then because it's enveloped in the fat matrix of the chocolate, and then we're adding coconut butter in there as well to help with the softening of it, it allows the sugar to be released slowly over time, rather than with the pure gels and the syrups, you're getting a huge spike in energy, but then you're getting a huge crash. So then you become really reliant on them. Whereas you have one of our bars, and then you're pretty much good for a solid hour. And then you'd have another one, and then you're good for, again, another 45 minutes to an hour. So we are playing with the combination of the 2 products that are on the market right now. And again, just trying to get people to understand that chocolate is actually like, it's good for you when you are doing long, slow burn activities.
Yeah, like with purpose, it's excellent. Like it fills that niche. If you want to indulge up in it, like that's a different line. We're good with that too. I love that.
Well, so do I. I could just roll over here and grab some if you'd like. as I told you about our $50 Lindt chocolate purchase. But
Yeah, it happens.
you guys kind of answered my next question. Again, I'm talking with Christine, Leanna, and Kristyn, the founders of Seven Summit Snacks. Their Seven Summit Snacks website is right in the comment section. You can click on it and it'll take you direct there. I know. So you've talked a little bit about your competition, so I'm going to kind of skip over that. But one thing I want to do is I mean, I like the bigger versions. Here we go, right? This is my kind of chocolate. Like when I say chocolate, I want chocolate, right? I don't want a little fruit nut bar. I want big chocolate. I love what you guys. Let's talk about your name and your brand. How did you come up with this packaging? Who created it? If you want to give them a good shout out, if it is a company, I mean, I love that because this is fantastic. And when you say, it makes sense. You know, when it does melt, like it melts, and all of a sudden I can just sit there and take one of the little ones, just
that's it. That's the whole point.
halfway through a squash game, it's done. I'm like, yeah, I'm literally drinking chocolate, which gives me a better feeling than eating it.
I think that's what we have to try and get that across to people because people love melted chocolate, so they're just not used to the idea of it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. People often they go, it's like, but isn't it gonna melt? Like if I'm using it for sport, and we're like, yes, but only if you want. So we have a melting point. What is it? What's
like 22 degrees.
20. Yeah. So against your body, it should melt.
Yeah.
But then you're asking about packaging. It's like Kristyn searched out so many, and we had to find something robust enough that it wasn't gonna like squish out in the bottom of your bag.
Yeah. So I think there's like two things. Like the brand itself, like came to me in an epiphany in the night. My partner at the time was literally on the summit of Mount Everest. I woke up in the night with this whole brainwave of activity saying, okay, it's called Seven Summit Snacks. It's going to have carbs for athletes. And I wrote this whole note in my phone about what the product was going to be. I looked at the clock and was like, oh my God, Robin's on the summit right now. And then went back to bed. And then a few hours later, I found out he passed away on his descent from Mount Everest. So the name came, and the name will always remain the name. We get helpful suggestions from people. Yes, it's a little bit of a mouthful, but like the name is the name for a reason. And it will stay that way, and it then inspires the flavor launches as we'll go forward. And then again, Leanna was the one that was like, I can't find a package that sells to me. So she sought out a designer in the triathlon world. And
Ocean Air Design, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
I hope you're watching. So he's a triathlete. He's our target market. So I said we should talk to Mike. He'll definitely help us out. So Kristyn and I kind of came up with a loose logo, and then he came up with probably eight different ones, and then we had them posted, and then we're looking, and then we wanted to make sure there was someone active on the front, and we wanted to make sure we were tailoring or getting people to see, a cyclist, a hiker, a runner.
Everything, right?
Because I'm very visual. Yeah, there you go. The Everest hiker. That was like my vision from day one. I was like, why is there not a hiker with a piece of chocolate? So we did it. I was very excited about that. Just because people are so visual and they want to grab and go. And so now we've created a product that, for me, I'm like, yes, like I'm going to grab this because there's a cyclist on. I'm not even going to read the back of it going, because I already know probably some sort of cyclist approved this.
And I think it's funny too, because like Christine and I preferred a little more of a cleaner, modern aesthetic. Yep. But every time we tested our packaging with our core consumers, they love it. So we're like, okay, this is designed for our people.
Yeah, these are our people. Yeah. And also, I'm all about the let's make sure and check our bias, because we know that we love it because we made it, and But we tested we did a bunch of consumer focus groups to like go. So does this track with you? Like, does this make sense? Is it just us? And they're like, no, we can see it. And then when we had the actual product, then we got a bunch of testers in the summer to do like so much feedback. So Kristyn made this like insane 30 page
same 30-page questionnaires right now happening.
Yeah. And now it's like that one was like the meatiest part of our feedback. It was great. And now this our new flavors are gonna come. New flavor. One flavor is gonna come out in hopefully May, and we're trialing right now. So we're getting a little bit more feedback on flavor profiles. What else
Yeah.
is going on now?
Shopping, where people purchase.
Where people,
Or would purchase, pricing. We're checking pricing again, and we're checking activity. I think it was important to check activity again because we did test it in the summer when people are more active. So I just wanted to make sure again that our test group is the product is still functioning as it should in the winter. So we had our summer test and now we have our winter test, and whatever feedback we get from the testing, we'll do a final iteration before we go to launch the flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I think we'll get to that, the new flavors in our kind of down in our little what's coming up next section.
Oh yeah, so I keep
you guys have, I mean, I just love it. I mean, the feel of it, the look of it, and of course you talked about the education that kind of has to go with it because I mean, for someone like myself or who's not a triathlete or a long distance, I mean, I love it, and I eat the small ones, and you see, and of course I haven't been able to bring it to the gym yet because we haven't been able to go to the gym, but it's something. So let's talk about some of the challenges that you've had moving forward. I mean, I've run the gauntlet trying to get things into Safeway, Sobeys, Loblaws. We were successful, going across Canada. But even talking about Laura, you live it when you mentioned the protein bar, right? That's she was just banging her head against the wall trying to open doors, and it's so competitive, things along those lines. So let's talk about that. What have you done? What has succeeded? What are you looking to place your product?
Ooh, that's a good one. We talked a bit about that before. So when we started, like, we have a pretty firm idea of like who our target market is.
Yeah.
And like, I see this as like concentric circles, or it's like right at the middle is our endurance enthusiasts, and then outside of that it's like active families, and then so we're sort of starting at the core and like spreading out. And then the second question is, well, where do those people go? Mm-hmm. And really, it's like, well, you would kind of get them like everywhere. It's like you'd find your bars in the grocery store and in a sports store and online.
So and that's kind of where the like different formatting came in that I wanted to come up with, was giving kind of everyone a reason to eat chocolate. So we only have 2 formats right now, but over the line of 7, there's like an indulgent, there's more of a hiker pack. Like, so there's these other products that kind of, are for the family, for the mom, for whatever, camping, hiking, running. It was hard to narrow it down to which ones do we start with. That's where we look to Kristyn for guidance on that.
But so it was awesome at the start that we had like our testers and people that contributed to our crowdfunding campaign. They were our first customers. They bought online. We had a Shopify site that like we weren't planning on going very digital at first, but COVID, of course, totally made that absolutely necessary. So we're like, okay, we will go. We're aiming for like 50% retail, 50% e-commerce for like sales for everything. Mm-hmm. And then, so at the beginning, we were so lucky to partner with ATB, like through the crowdfunding, and they helped us get into like Blush Lane initially and co-op stores. Mm-hmm. And it's going okay.
At the grocers.
The grocery stores. Like navigating, like those guys were like, they're so willing to work with startups that are like new foods, and they'll give you a chance. So like that chance was amazing. But it also taught us that like our bars don't move nearly as well in grocery stores as they do in boutique stores. And it's like, of course, it's like our target customer goes to these boutique places. So we're like, okay, we want to be in grocery stores, but from our feedback, like timing right now, we're like, is it the best? And is this the best product that we're going to have out that's going to suit this actual channel right now? And
we can't even provide samples.
We can't sample because of COVID. So we know that sort of held us back. And like, it was good for exposure and just like general getting the name out there. But honestly, like short term, our e-commerce actually is a better platform for right now.
And I think the other thing is important from our customer base is that they look to word of mouth to figure out what they want to eat for their endurance activities. Yeah. So they're asking their friends, they're asking the running shop owner what they should have. So we still feel present, even though the volume is very small in the small retailers. And we've been we contact 10 a week between Alberta and BC, trying to hope to get some feedback that one store will stock us kind of thing. And
Yeah.
we just don't end up in the junk folder.
Yeah.
But we do feel that we need to be present in those small stores because it is trust building. And then between that and us trying to show up, we're showing up at a couple races if they happen this year, but at least we're getting online recognition through these, again, trusted sources to the endurance athletes. Then they start to see us and then they're like, okay, I've seen this now X amount of times. It's probably 7 because it's usually rules of 7. I'm willing to try now. And so we, again, for our online shop, we have a taster box that allows people to, it's a lower price than committing to everything, and they can try us out. And then again, we're trying to do sampling at races as and when those can happen.
Yeah. And then like
That'll be important
the challenging
moving
part with
I mean, that'll be very, very important moving forward, right? Realizing, I mean, I'm not the biggest dark chocolate fan, but like I said, when you guys shipped me more product, and I thought I ate all the first ones that went through, and then I found some and my face lit up.
Yeah.
And then I had because I was like, you shipped them to me too early. They have to sit in my house for 6 days, and there's no way these are lasting 6 days in our house because they're so good. You did mention like you're online. I'm just going to bring it up because I think that you girls are doing a fantastic job on Instagram and what you're doing out there. And if anybody needs to check it out again, it's 7 Summit Snacks on Instagram and your promotion. So how is that coming in with the lack of getting out there, being able to put it into people's mouths, have them taste it, and really get out there for a hard face-to-face sell?
Yeah. So the social media has been kind of a big learning curve. We've all kind of had to step up. We've asked help from other entrepreneurs. And then we kind of, it was something that we wanted to do ourselves to help with costs.
And understand and like connect directly with our customers because we're still in the seeking feedback.
Yeah.
Like
so what we did, and which I think is amazing, is we actually did a ambassador search at the end of December. So we just launched our 18 ambassadors at the start of February, because there are people in our voices and within their groups, like when we were looking to see who would help promote it, we also looked at like who they could reach. The great thing about I feel like our brand is that we're also very community oriented. So we're hosting like events on every 7th of every month, like some sort of wellness event, because we're all linked in the sense we all believe in healthy lifestyles, whether you're walking, running, doesn't matter to what performance degree. But we want to also give back to the community. So our ambassadors, I think, are going to be huge as we move forward. We've started creating different mailing lists. Instagram's been great because it really is our target market in that age range. We're not TikTok age rangers. I don't understand TikTok.
Until TikTok reaches us.
Right. So Instagram and Facebook kind of have been a great source of leads. And then there's just so much you can do with promotion. And again, it's been a bit of a learning curve, but just really making sure we're consistent on that and that we're getting our message across and consistently. But again, I'm really happy about our little brand ambassador team that we've created.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Tell me a little bit more, and our listeners, how you did that, because there's a lot of people in your space. I was talking yesterday with a lady who's creating a very healthy, almost a female bait kind of focused beef jerky, smaller sites, easier to chew, things along those lines. And we were talking about this and marketing and things along those lines. So everybody always thinks that you have to go out there and spend boatloads of money to have people and bring in on ambassadors or have an influencer or whatever you want to call them. But share what you guys did.
Oh, I will definitely say one thing. It's like the places where we've spent the most money have not at all correlated with like the most
the feedback.
So I think like we're definitely still in the we're testing all of the different channels that we can digitally. Like I think you have to. I think we have to. And for the ones that stick, like ambassadors, like you said, it's like the people where we can connect directly.
Yeah, I think too. COVID was hard on everyone, but it was a good way of bringing people together. We mailed out I don't know how many mail-outs we've done, dropping chocolate off.
We give away a lot of chocolate.
But making people feel like they're connected and part of a team, I think is actually very empowering. And I think it gives people, you know, it's like, if I give you this bar, it's like, yeah, go take a picture on your run, walk, whatever you're doing. I think like we have some people that are, you know, firefighters, nurses, we kind of looked at all scopes, and I think a lot of it was that community touch again, and how involved they wanted to be. So like these are just like, we asked questions, the kind of, you know, what are you involved in? I think we had one question like, how competitive are you? But that's not where we're gearing towards.
No.
So for us, again, it's like, when I think about what I love most, passionate about like health and wellness, and I just want to bring those people together, and why not bring them together with chocolate? And those types of people are just like so happy to receive their chocolates, give them some buffs, and they're happy to just like snap the photos and help us. They want to help. It's like, we want to help them, they want to help us, and so it's really connecting with the right people. But I think we asked just really good questions on the questionnaire. And we got a lot of feedback, or a lot of applicants actually.
And then it was we're like, do we take everybody? Do we, we select? And like, again, we're learning. We don't know.
Like, we want to give away lots of chocolate, but also it's like, we can't handle absolutely everybody. It would be too much. Like, there's only 3 of us, and we all have other jobs. So that's another tricky balancing time. But community building, and like, you live in the community that we're targeting. It's like, those are your people.
And so it's easy to reach out to those groups. Same with Kristyn. Like, we just, those groups of people, hikers, runners, walkers, people who just want to be outdoors. I don't know, they're just like the best people. Like, they just want to.
Exactly. We are, right?
Like, you do activity, and it, you know, like, it helps improve your health and overall well-being. So I think it's just,
and I think people, because of COVID, we're also looking for somewhere to be part of. Like, they miss that community that we just haven't been able to build. Like, in the last little while, it's like all these like running groups of 8, and I'm like, yeah, we want to talk to you. Your little cohort. I'm like, here's some chocolate. And they want to get out there, and they miss going to races. They miss with people at the gym. Like, we're there too. We miss it. We understand what they're feeling, and hopefully our chocolate gives them a reason to connect.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And then the contests and things like that you'll probably, you know, make down the road. And we did that with Nathan's back in the day. Take your the funkiest place that you're going to give away. Sure. I mean, I'm wearing like, we designed shirts like that, right? The stuff as you get, you know, start bringing in a little more revenue that you'll have more fun doing, even though you're wearing some sweet swag right now, all of you. I think Christopher, which is a good one too. And, you know, it's that weekend warrior, right? Where you're out there, and I'm always sitting there. I don't like Gatorade. I don't know why. I've never been a Gatorade fan, but I'm big into contests. Like, I remember sneaking my phone into the Y. Andrew Schnell, who, you know, Leanna might know, you know, professionals, you know, probably one of Alberta's best squash player, and he's won nationals a few times. He was sponsored by Chocolate Milk, and he goes, Jabe, you do a lot of videos, and I'm like, can you do something coming and drinking chocolate milk? So stopped at 7, grabbed a two little chocolate milk, did my hour swim, jumped out of the pool, and quickly took my chocolate milk, and I'm hiding at the Y. And I was like, hey, Jay, chocolate milk, come on. And I got a whole bunch of swag that I still wear. The girls have stolen something.
Awesome.
I mean, little things like that make it, that gives that brand recognition, and you know, even the dude like myself was out there. I think that got like 7,000 or 8,000 views just on normal sites, not even LinkedIn. So it was like, oh yeah, they were pretty happy. They ended up sending me some more stuff, so I was pretty pumped about that.
Yeah.
For sure. So let's talk about your next flavors. What's going on there?
Yeah. So we again, Leanna said we.
Hold on. I need a little boost.
Yeah. Power up.
So when we were like brainstorming what we had our vision for the product line, and it was always clear to me that we would have flavors that mimicked or that were paying homage to the mightiest mountain on each continent. And so I wanted to use ingredients from that continent from that continent. So we started with Everest and Aconcagua. Everest because it's the mountain, the thing. So, but then Aconcagua, I've always had a passion for golden berries, so I just wanted to get those in the market. That's what helps when you run your own brand. But then, so we have, in test right now, we have our Vincent, which is dark chocolate mint. We have our Denali, which is milk chocolate, peanut butter, and jam.
Well, that's North America. Sorry, these are also like Vincent is
Antarctica.
Yeah, so
Denali, no, nothing grows there. So it was like, is this penguin poo flavor or what?
Oh, it was
So we do mint because it's fresh. And then Denali, so North America, peanut butter and jam. I was like, it's got to be a really classic American flavor. So it was like cookies and cream or peanut butter and jam. And I was like, peanut butter and jam sandwiches is adventurer favorite on hikes. So like we got to go with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we've got our Karstens pyramid, which is the highest peak in Oceania. So I was like, what grows and what is Oceania known for? And I was like, oh, coffee and vanilla are big exports from both of those. So we also have our Elbrus, which is milk chocolate, red berries, and kasha, which is a crunchy buckwheat. And Kilimanjaro, which is, we have it pegged at banana and cardamom, but can't quite get the flavor balance right on it right now. So we might.
This is why we seek feedback.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so we were like, what do we launch next? We're not sure. We put it out to social media. People voted. We got, again, like over like 150 responses on people's top picks for our next launch. And we went with that. So people told us what they wanted next. We made those bars and then we're sending them out for testing and feedback right now. Whichever comes back the strongest fit for the spring is what we're going to go with. So.
Ooh. And I know you do your testing down here, don't you?
Yeah,
we mail it out.
Bunch of testers in Calgary.
Yeah, anyone who wants to. So we advertise on Instagram. We find that's our easiest way of communicating, and it hits our broadest or the most demographic. We're targeting mostly millennials, so they're on the Instagram. And had to fill in a screener questionnaire, make sure they're okay with the ingredient lines. And not whoever, but I then selected it down to, again, we had like over 200 responses of people. Narrowed it down to 85 people to test, and we're getting feedback literally right now.
Yeah, if you had a sensitivity or like an allergy, we said, oh, sorry.
Oh, you're out.
Yeah. So
I got none. So if someone drops out, just shoot me a text and I'll be there in 5 minutes.
For sure.
Okay, thanks, Jude.
And we'll continue to do this. So again, it's more than likely come September we'll have another round of testing for potentially a new format. So
yeah,
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll do not just boutique sports stores, but some other. I don't know, suiting the format to the people that shop in that retail format. It's like that's tricky. But we'll get there. You know, it's all about guess and check. And this is one thing with food that, like, I don't know, I work in tech and all these other things. It's like you have so much flexibility, and it's like you constantly seek feedback and you can constantly iterate on products. Like you can tweak it, you can change it, you can, formulate it a little bit differently for your next round. As long as your packaging still works.
The way I look at it is people I say, oh, well, you weren't in tech before, you were in food. I'm like, you know what? Food is tech for the body. So just phrase it that way, right? There's your next tagline, tech for the body.
Tech for your body, yeah.
Tech for your body, right? Maybe that'll work with some grants too. I don't know. You might have to try it.
Maybe, yeah. We found, like, we're working in the grant space. There's a lot of and Agriculture Canada. I'm like, if only we could put like a bean into one of our bars. Like that's probably not going to happen. But yeah, it's like aligning yourself with like what the country and the province wants to do helps you with grants, and we're like,
yeah,
but we're worldly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, this has been a great conversation, and I know anytime I see someone that's in the food, I always reach out, and I mean that's just I want to hear more. I like it. It's also very challenging, and there's lots of big players, which is unfortunate. But I mean, everything that you guys have done from what, over the 7 or 8 months that we've known each other, I've been impressed and loving it. And I'm excited to watch where you go next. And because the product itself is just fantastic. So anybody that needs to check it out, click on the website in the comment section, order through their e-commerce. It arrives in a couple days and you're ready to go. Gyms are starting to open. I'm going to play squash today, getting a lesson.
Yeah.
I know once I'm able to get around running around the court, I'll take some photos and post them up and tag you guys too, because it's everybody's just itching at the to get out there, right? So So my last question is always the same, and I don't know how you guys are going to handle it, but if you had one piece of advice for an entrepreneur, a startup, or a small business, what would that be?
Just go for it.
I would like there's 3 of us and we have differing personalities.
Exactly.
Right? Mine is, and I think I said it like 5 times, it's like seek feedback. It's like everything that you test, it's like it's not necessarily going to work out, but it's like it's worth testing. It's fine. And then that's only going to make your product better.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm the opposite. I'm intuitive and passionate, and I'm just like, let's do this.
I know this is a good balance.
So I say just dive in and roll with the punches.
Test it first.
I'm the mediator between the two. I hold both hands.
That's exactly. Well, you both, hey, go to your corners. Go to your corners. Yeah. Well, that's what makes a good business work, right? The yin and the yang. When you're talking about tech companies, someone who needs to know the back of the house, someone needs to know the front of the house. So you need that, right? You have those healthy, and I'm sure there's been times you've had those conversations where you're like, oh my God, I'm going to shoot her, or I'm done, I'm out.
I don't know what you're talking about. We can all go back. Like, we all agree on chocolate, and it's like I'd say ideal. It's like if we hit some milestone in the future, we're like probably going to fly somewhere and eat chocolate and climb a mountain. Mm-hmm. Like, so we can always come back to that. Yeah. But yeah, no, we're going to fight.
I don't call it fighting. It's just healthy conversations.
We're going to disagree. We're going to like tease out what needs to be teased out. Then we'll make something better.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, I really appreciate you, you ladies coming on and helping and sharing your story and anything that, we can do, or telling like it is, or peer guidance, or anybody that in our ecosystem, let me know, because it's something I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about food, and obviously getting companies like yourself off the ground. So, I mean, the best of luck to you. I'm looking forward to watching. I follow you on all the social media channels. I give you a shout out whenever I can. So kudos to what you ladies have done so far, and you should be proud and give yourselves a pat on the back. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys taking that trip to that first milestone mountain. That'll be exciting.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Jade.
Yeah, thanks so much for the support. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I hope everybody has a great day, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.